As we discussed earlier, by this very popular quote, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Following with that, every company is having a set of budget in their own process. So one such type of long-term budgeting, and which is very much important to all the companies, what we are going to discuss in this discussion. Greetings to all of you. Today, we are going to discuss about capital budgeting. Ladies and gentlemen, before getting into the discussion, we have two different components here. One is capital and one is budgeting. Capital is nothing but a long-term investment. Before doing an investment, you want to do a plan, what we call as budget. In our previous video, we discussed something about what is budgeting. Budgeting is nothing but a prior financial plan. So capital is a long-term investment, and budgeting, planning before the investment. Doing the investment in combination, it is called as capital budgeting. So a simple definition by Horn Green: a long-term planning for making a financing proposed cash outlays. Cash outlays, cash outflow. In capital budgeting, we are going to use two different words, which is called as cash inflows and cash outflows. Cash inflows is an income, and cash outflows is an expenses. So a long-term planning for making and financing a proposed cash outlay, what we call as capital budgeting, is all about. And one more definition for your clear understanding: the capital budgeting consists of planning, development of available capital for the purpose of maximizing the long-term profit of the concern. Very wonderful definition by Lynch, which he is telling that planning to utilize your money or investment to have a maximum profit in the near future or a long term. So that is what we call as capital budgeting. What are all the objectives of capital budgeting? Selecting a profitable project. See, we will have a difference of choices to invest our money. We have various avenues to invest our money. We can invest in the same verticals, we can invest in different verticals. So it is our prime duty to understand, and it is our prime duty to calculate which is more profitable one. We have different techniques to calculate this capital budgeting. In a separate video, we will discuss upon that. So the prime duty of capital budgeting is selecting a project which is more viable, more feasible, and more profitable. And capital expenditure control, how much cash you're having to invest, and what is the projected cash initial investment required for the proposed outlay, want to be calculated through this capital budgeting. Funding the right sources for funds. Which project you want to fund? Why? Because it is for long-term purpose. If you make a wrong choice, obviously you want to ultimately suffer. What are all the factors affecting this capital budgeting? Capital structure, what capital structure you are following, what debt to equity ratios you are following, and what is the requirement of working capital you needed. Out of that, the idle money can be invested in the other verticals. And return on capital, what you are investing, the return want to be calculated. It should be more and above the market, or it is par with the market. Availability of funds, how much funds you are having, how much you are ready to invest, and availability of funds. When talking about this availability of funds, how much free funds you are having in your reserves. Earnings, out of which how much you are earning, how long you can earn. That is what we are going to calculate from post payback period. In the techniques, we will discuss that. Management decision. Yes, of course, it is a prime duty to identify the profitable project, feasible project, and it is up to the management whether they accept or they can go ahead with another choices. Lending policies of financial institutions. Suppose if you are not having any fund, you have a borrowed capital, then you want to calculate the interest and the repayment period, everything you want to calculate too before investing in a long-term purpose. And what's the process? Identify the potential investing area where you want to invest and evaluating the investment proposal. If we have more than one proposals, please go ahead with the capital budgeting technique and identify the more feasible project which is adaptable for your investment purpose. By the same time, while evaluating, you may get two projects which are having a same profit. Which project you can, that is what you call as mutually exclusive project. Investment is same, by the same time the return is also same. Which project you can sell? Mutually exclusive project. And decision making, you want to take a decision out of which project you want to select. Capital apportionment. After selecting the project, suppose if you are investing in a one proposal, well and good, your money is particularly pertaining to that particular capital investment project. Suppose if you are selecting more than one, how you are proportionately allocating your funds towards the capital. Implementation and continuous growth. With this note, I'll stop here. In the next video, we will discuss in a detailed manner about what are all the different techniques to identify this proposed feasible proposals. We have discounted, non-discounted techniques. In a detailed manner, we will discuss them. Stay tuned. Thank you.